Hey, you guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, the weekly podcast devoted to all things spirituality and self-improvement. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today's topic is all about what to do when you just don't feel like yourself, and that can happen for a variety of reasons. Many of us, if you're my age especially, going through midlife, we go through a lot of changes and our physical body goes through a lot of changes. And that causes you to feel like you're not yourself. And also, if you're going through a spiritual journey, which if you're following me, you probably are, and many of us are. And when we go through that spiritual journey, sometimes we just don't feel like ourselves either. We feel like we are learning and growing and we aren't who we used to be, but we're unsure of where that is now, right? Like, who am I? Where am I on my journey? And I know that many of you out there are feeling this way. So today I thought I would do a podcast episode all about what can you do when you just don't feel like yourself, whether that's happening because of your age and you're going through the change of life, whether that's happening because of your stage of life. I know my sister has a daughter who has gone off to college. My kids are grown and out of the house. That can cause you to feel like, what's my role now, right? I was a mother, I was a wife, I was this, I was that. Maybe you're going through a divorce. There are all kinds of situations that can cause us to experience rapid change. And it is that change that makes us uncomfortable. Maybe you're going through your own spiritual journey. I know when I experienced what I call dark night of the soul, where I just woke up one day and said there had to be more to life than just this. I felt like I was running on a hamster wheel, getting nowhere. That can also make you feel not like yourself. So if this is you, stick around. We're going to talk about it. And I'm going to share with you some things that you can do to hopefully help you through this process. It is a journey, and life is about falling in love with the journey. But sometimes, you know how it is. You go on a road trip, right? And things don't work out the way you thought. Maybe you get stuck in traffic or you get a flat tire, different things happen, and you're cursing this road trip. I don't want to do this. I hate this. Why is all this happening? Same thing in life. This is a journey. And along this journey, you're going to face challenges and there are going to be things that are tough. But that is where we have the opportunity to learn and to grow and to shift our thinking, our attitude, our actions, so that we can call in a life that we absolutely love. But this is you sitting there today going, yeah, this is me. I don't feel like myself. I don't know maybe you don't know what's going on. For some of us, we know, right? I know for myself, it is change of life, right? That lovely word menopause or perimenopause or whatever you're in, because they don't even know a time frame that women are in it. It's just like, yeah, that's you. Maybe it is for me also my kids being grown, and it's it's a very quiet household than it used to be. So whatever it is for you, and maybe you don't know exactly what it is, you just don't feel like yourself. So now what? How do we come back to a space where we feel more comfortable in the journey and we do fall in love with the journey a little bit more? And that's what I'm here to talk about today. For me, I know personally, it's been really tough because a lot of the change that I face is hormonal. It's changes with my body. My body does not look the same that it did 20 years ago, of course. Gaining weight, menopause, that was probably the worst thing and the biggest surprise that nobody told me was going to happen. Not sleeping at night. And all of those things contribute to your physical well-being. When you don't get enough sleep at night, when your hormones are all out of whack, you're crazy, right? You're just like getting moody for no reason, snapping at people. Driving has become such a fun thing now that I have no patience for it. But I have also taken steps to help myself medically and seeing a physician. So there are things we can do for that now. I think women's health is being taken a lot more serious than it used to. And there are a lot of ways that we can help offset menopause and perimenopause and all of those symptoms. But even if you're young and in your 20s, I remember after I had my children, same thing. I was like hormonal. And it was crazy. So if that's you going through this, we're just going to talk about what are some ways we can maybe start to feel normal again. Definitely one thing I would recommend is if it is something physical in your body, hormonal, see your doctor and consult with a physician because that's super important. And I will definitely, I'm going to bold this. If your physician just says, well, that's just how it is, find a different physician. That's what I had to do. I went to a doctor who said, well, you're just getting older. I said, I know I'm getting older, but that's not just it. You can't just tell someone, oh, you're just getting older. So I actually reached out and asked people I knew who they trusted, who they went to, who they liked, why. And I found a physician who listened to me and said, yes, you are getting older, but you don't have to suffer because you're getting older. And so that physician took the time to go over all of the treatment options. So if you are in that with your health and you're not yourself because of your health, but you feel like you're not being taken seriously, please find a physician who will. It's like any profession. You know, I know teachers who are not very good at what they do. And I know teachers who are excellent at what they do. You have to find the person that fits your needs. And so I would encourage you to do that and don't take no for an answer. You have to advocate for yourself because no one else is going to. And on that note, one of the things that I think is so important, especially when you're feeling a little bit out of sorts and you're trying to figure out, okay, what is my life now? What am I doing now? Which is totally understandable, especially when your kids leave the nest. That takes up such a big part of our lives. And not that it doesn't for dads, because of course it does, but for moms, for some reason, you know, you've been given that role in society and biologically that it is your job to take care of your children and to be there for them. And when, not that you're not there for them, but when that shifts and they no longer need you like they did, or they're not at the home where they were, taking up a lot of the space that you had, it feels weird. And then it can shift to say, okay, well, who am I? What am I? What are my roles now? Like, what do I do? And I understand that fully too. Just know that you're not alone. There's so many people out there experiencing this. And one of the things that I think is so important right now is learning how to advocate for yourself and set boundaries and to do self-love. So the first thing I would advocate for is that you honor whatever it is that you're feeling. And maybe it's all over the place. The other day, and it's embarrassing to admit this, but my hormones were so out of whack that one of my friends called me and all she said was hello, and I started sobbing. And then she said, are you okay? She didn't judge me. And immediately she said, I know exactly what you're going through. So that made me feel better to know, okay, I'm not insane because I felt insane. No, you're not insane. You're just going through something that all women go through. And what made it worse was not having my mom there to ask, you know, is this normal? Or, you know, my doctor said, when did your mom go through this? I didn't know. We didn't talk about that. And she was not there for me to ask now. So I had no idea and I couldn't give her any answer on that. So that made it harder too, right? I don't have anybody to go to really for this to ask, like a mother figure. So how do I get through this? So a lot of it is trial and error for me, but I found, you know, I found women who are also experiencing this. I have coworkers who are going through this, and we put ourselves in the We Don't Care Club, right? We saw a lady on TikTok who had that video. We are able to confide and talk to each other. And that's one thing I would say is lean on your friends right now in your friend group. And maybe if you don't have a friend group, now would be the time to really put yourself out there and try to find people and to find your tribe, because isolating yourself is one of the worst things that you can do. I mean, it's okay to have alone time because we all need that, but not talking to anyone makes this process so much harder. Well, find your tribe, find people who can relate to you. And, you know, maybe find a Facebook group. I'm sorry, I know I'm having trouble talking today, but find a Facebook group. I actually did find a Facebook group of women who are all going through this. And even though we don't know one another and don't live close, it's just somebody to talk to and someone to post in there and say, is this normal? What can you do for this? It's very helpful. And so if your kids go off to college, maybe join the college parent Facebook group, because I did that when my daughter left for college too. And it was a great support because there are a lot of questions I had that I didn't know the answer to. People posted in that group and it was very helpful. And you can post about maybe what it is that you're going through because we all experience this. I mean, I think most of us think, oh, I'm the only one experiencing these emotions and I feel silly. If you reach out to people, you would know you are not the only person going through this. There's so many people who've been through this before that can help. So I would say advocate for yourself. Take time to process your emotions and know that it's okay to feel what you feel. Definitely process it because emotions, they're supposed to move through us, not sit with us for a long time. So don't force it down and say, okay, I don't have to deal with it. Allow yourself to process it so that you can work through it and allow yourself to feel what you feel and know that it's okay to feel what you feel. And lean on your friends and family, your support group. Have people that you can talk to. And if it's a medical thing, advocate for yourself with your physicians. Find people who are going through the same thing because people are. You're not alone and know that. And that's my first thing. My second thing is that what I'm getting is you need to put yourself out there. You know, if this is one of those midlife things where now your role is suddenly shifting and you find all of this free time, put yourself out there. What did you always want to do, but maybe you never thought you had time for it because you were running to track practice or band practice or basketball practice or tennis practice in my case. Maybe there were things you wanted to do but never did because you just didn't have the time. And now you've got that time freed up. What can you do with that time? You know, check out new hobbies, new interests, maybe meeting new people. Don't be afraid and don't let the fear stop you from doing that. The other thing that I'm getting is to make sure that you are doing so much self care. It's so important right now, and self care looks different for every person. Sometimes you need a massage. Sometimes we need to go get a facial. Sometimes we might just need to go do a little retail therapy that makes us feel better. Sometimes it is doing guided meditations. It's going and joining a gym or moving your body in some way, going for a walk, listening to uplifting podcasts, reading good books, watching TV that just is uplifting and makes us feel better, listening to music, whatever. It is different for every person. And I was talking to someone, I was working with a client, and I told them, have a list of all the things you love to do, things that light up your soul, make you happy. Write it down in a journal and every day pick one thing that you're going to do for yourself. So I would say make this list things that are big, like going to get a massage or going to the beach and going on vacation, down to things that are very small that you do for yourself, like taking a hot bath or um, baking your favorite treat, whatever. This is something that makes you feel better and something that's going to soothe your soul. And again, because you're an individual, it's going to be different for each person. Have your little list in your journal or your notebook, and every day make a commitment to yourself that you're going to take at least 15 minutes, more if you can, to do something kind for yourself. Many of us, I know school starting back up. This is definitely happening for me. Life gets crazy, right? In fact, it was so crazy this summer that I barely had time to release new podcasts. And I felt very bad about that, but I just wasn't here to do it. And I don't push myself in that regard. I'm not going to overwork myself to the point of burnout because I'm no good to anyone if I do that. So for you, maybe life has just gotten really crazy and busy, and it will for me again, starting up with school. Take time for yourself because when we're crazy all over the place, our energy is crazy and it's all over the place. That's when we start getting more agitated and irritated and when our emotions aren't regulated. And so it's really important And it's a great time for you to take time every day to ensure that you are doing self-care and that you're taking care of the most important person, which is you. And it's not selfish and you're not being narcissistic or vain because you can't help anyone else if you're completely drained and burnt out. So please take care of yourself. Now, I wanted to pull some cards to give you a little message to see what else the universe had to say on this. But I really, really want to strongly reiterate that you're not alone in this. We all feel this way from time to time, and it is completely normal. I have been following a case, as I'm sure you all have, on on social media, and I'm not going to name the people in it, but it just involves a mother who was so overwrought with emotion and having mental challenges, and no one got her help. And I think it's so important because we need to take the stigma out of recognizing when we do need help. Everyone feels overwhelmed and burnt out and not like themselves from time to time. However, if this is lasting a really long time, if it's lasting more than, a few weeks to months, please seek medical advice. It's really important that you do. Everyone's mental health is so super important, especially right now. Everything that we're seeing happening in the world is just horrible and you're inundated. It's like breaking news all the time. Take a break from all of that. Clean up your social medias. Don't watch the things that really make you angry. And I'm not saying bury your head in the sand and don't advocate for others and things like that. I think that's important too, but you also need to take a break from time to time for your own mental health. So I want to do a little reading for you to let you know what the universe wants you to know about all of this right now. And I am using the cards from Angela Rose, two of her decks. And I'm also going to use some affirmation cards too for you. So the first thing, there actually are two cards, three that I want to highlight right away because it's exactly what I was talking about. The first was rest and relax, which just came out right away. And it's no coincidence. It says, your body is speaking to you. Can you hear it? Is your body telling you that you need rest, food, water, meditation, breath work, massage? This is so funny because sometimes when I'm sitting down to do some work, I'll be working for hours and then all of a sudden my stomach will start growling. I was like, oh, I haven't eaten. And it's only because I don't want to stop what I'm doing. I don't want to be interrupted because of the flow that's going on. But I laughed so hard. I saw this lady on TikTok the other day who said, those people who forget to eat. And she said, well, I forgot that I ate and I accidentally ate 2 meals for lunch. And it cracked me up. But so we do that sometimes. My dad used to say when my kids would throw a fit, well, they're probably hungry or they might be tired, but that can throw you off if you have low blood sugar or if you're tired. So listen to your body. What does your body need? The action is listen to your body. What message is it sending you? Drink water. Yes, a whole glass. I need that because I'm so bad about drinking water. I drink a whole lot of coffee, but water. It says, feel your whole body freshen and rise. Yeah, water is super important. The mantra is, I listen to my body. My body is wise. Exactly. Your body will tell you what it needs. And if you don't listen to it, your body will react. You'll get sick. Something is going to happen because you can't keep going and not resting and taking time out. So listen to your body and give it what it needs. Then no surprise, self-love came out, right? It says, fully lean into you. You were made perfectly by the Creator. You are whole in your light and in the parts of you that feel uncomfortable. What do you love about yourself and what makes you you? In this time where you don't know who you are, sit down and ask yourself, who am I at my core? What are my values? What do I believe in? The action is place a hand on your heart and feel your heartbeat. Breathe deep into your heart. Ignite the flame of love for yourself. You are your life's purpose. And the mantra that goes with this card is, I am loved. I am whole. I am worthy. I matter. I deserve to be here. You are whole. You're not broken. Okay. You may feel a little broken right now, but you are completely whole. And the next one that came out was from her other deck, and it's Soul Cup. This one is so important too because it says, ask, what is the next best loving thing you need in this moment? Take one step towards what feels soulful for you. When you fill yourself with your own love, it pours into everyone else that you love. Yeah, you can't be there for anyone else if you're not there for yourself. The next thing we have is be bold. Okay, I told you, don't be afraid to reach out, try new things, meet new people. This says, stand in your power. Your time to shine is now. It has to start with you. Now is your time to take your life in your hands and be who you are ready to step into. Who is the person you want to be? Show up as her now. Or if you're male watching, show up as him now. The action that goes with this card is, how does the person you want to be show up in her life? Create a vision board or journal of how you want your life to be, and now show up as that person. The mantra is, today I stand confidently and boldly in my power. Exactly. You're a very powerful being. And I got that message today. I did a reading on TikTok, and that was one of the messages was, you're so powerful. Stop forgetting how powerful you truly are. And then we have, what excuses am I making? There are always going to be distractions, worry, and fears that we will face when wanting something different in our life. It can feel scary living in the unknown and not knowing exactly how life will unfold when we leap into something new. Trust that you will be fully supported and do it afraid. Take one small action step today to build momentum and confidence. Trust in yourself. You can do this. And I love saying to myself, you can do hard things because you can. We talk ourselves out of so much just because we don't think we can do it. The mantra is, I can do hard things. I love that. All right. Next, we have ancestral healing. You know, part of figuring out where we are in life and loving the journey and the journey of getting there is learning how to get rid of those expectations that were put on us by our parents, by society, all of that. You know, our parents were wounded. They put their wounding on us, not because they did it on purpose. It's just we all walk around unhealed sometimes. So this says, when you heal, 7 generations from the past and 7 generations from the future heal. Be different while honoring those who came before you and then after you. Your ancestors are holding space for you. And maybe you're saying, well, how do I heal? What does that even look like? It can be as simple as learning how to work on your self-love. I have the 10-day intensive self-love course on my website, but learning how to get rid of those negative voices that we have in our head who tell us we're not good enough. Learning to love ourselves and believe in ourselves and know that we're powerful and we can do anything we set our minds to. Next, you have intuition. Pay attention to your inner knowing. You have all the answers within you. Trust in the decisions that you make. You are the creature of your destiny. Exactly. Stop being so much in here and start being more in here. Okay. Come from a heart centered space, and that will help. We have forgiveness. Forgiveness often is about other people, but it's also often about ourselves. Forgiveness is something that we do to let go of all of that negative energy we were holding on to. Other people don't even have to know you forgive them. It's not really about them anyway. When you hold a grudge and you hate someone and you do this or you do that, it's like drinking poison and expecting that other person to die, because most of the time they don't know that you're holding a grudge and they don't care. So it's about you and the forgiveness. It says everyone is doing the best they can with what they know, including yourself. You are not defined by your past. Forgive yourself and others. It sets you free. This is the one I think is so important because so many of us, we forgive others, right? We're like, oh, I forgave that person even though they didn't ask for it. But then you won't forgive yourself. You keep beating yourself up over and over again, and you go down the shame spiral and all the things that you could have done better. Well, guess what? Everyone can do things better. There's not a single person that hasn't done something at some point in time that they're ashamed of. They're not ashamed of, right? We've all done that. We've all made mistakes. No one's perfect. Forgive yourself and let it go. It's too heavy to hold on to. The last thing that we have coming out is space. Make room for higher vibrational thoughts and feelings by having a clear space in mind. Clear out anything that no longer serves you, items, thoughts, old patterns, relationships. And I mentioned this earlier. It's so important for you to get rid of either thought patterns, thought processes, or limiting beliefs, or anything that you're doing that isn't serving you, whether it's procrastinating, all the things that are really self destructive and that keep you stuck. You're doing it to yourself. And there's no shame in this. We all do it. How can you let that go? How can you start doing something different? And when it's the procrastinating, okay, I'm really, really bad about this. I hate decluttering. I hate it so, so much. I don't want to do it. But the other day, I just made myself take a drawer. I started with that. Then I did a second drawer. So it doesn't have to be something grand, right? Maybe you just need to clean out your desk at work. Maybe you need to clean out your bag that you take to work. It's just little things we can do to clear up space. You're making room for new things and you're clearing up the energy around that. It feels good to let go of what doesn't serve you, especially when it's thoughts and any actions like not putting yourself out there because you're afraid, all of those things. And I'm just as guilty of that as anyone else. The last thing I'm going to do is pull 2 affirmation cards. And the first one I have is believe. Okay, I love this. It says, I believe in myself. I trust myself to make the right decision. Believing in yourself is important because it allows you to tap into your inner strength and resilience. It helps you to stay focused and determined even when faced with challenges or setbacks. When you have faith in your own abilities, you're more likely to take risks, step outside your comfort zone, and seize new opportunities. Visualizing your desired outcomes can enhance your self-belief and motivation. Picture yourself achieving your goals and succeeding in what you're set out to do. Write down the perfect scenario. Keep that outcome in your mind as if it already happened. Believe you can do it. That belief in yourself is so incredibly important. You can have all the skills in the world. You can be completely prepared for something. And if you don't believe in yourself, you can fail miserably. And the reason it's not because you didn't have what it took, you just didn't believe in yourself. And then there are other people who have a fourth of the knowledge or preparedness as others, and yet they just succeed everywhere. It is because they have that belief in themselves. So think about that. And then we have the power of word and thought, which kind of goes hand in hand because if you don't believe in yourself, that holds a lot of power. Believing in yourself definitely holds power. It says, I'm in control of my reality. Words and thoughts are powerful because they are the building blocks of our beliefs and attitudes. They have the ability to shape our perception of ourselves and the world around us. They influence our emotions and even impact our physical health. The thoughts you choose to believe and the words you choose to say are forming your experiences and your reality. Listen to what you say. I'm really bad sometimes about being frustrated and just talking to myself out loud, like, oh my gosh, this is stupid. I can't believe this happened or that happened. And, cursing to something out loud, right? The problem with that is those words you speak have power. And what I'll immediately do is recognize that I'm doing that, stop myself and say, okay, I was just having a moment. It's over. Things actually are amazing. They're good. The universe is always aligning my steps. Things are always working out perfectly for me. Once that's out there, once you've complained and whatever, be better about being present and really recognizing what you're doing because you are speaking your words into reality. Your thoughts are becoming reality. So when you catch yourself doing that, it's like grab those words and pull them back. Like, I really didn't mean to say that. I was having a moment, which you're allowed to have a moment, but then rewind, delete. This is what I really mean, is that everything is always working out perfectly for me. I am cultivating a life that I absolutely love because that is what's possible. It says cultivate a daily habit of nurturing thoughts and speaking words that align with your desired outcomes. Exactly. Maybe you don't see it yet in the 3D. That's okay. It doesn't start with the 3D, it starts with here and here. So when we say to ourselves, I am seeing amazing and beautiful things in my life, I have so much success in everything that I'm doing, speak success over it. I do this for my children. And I think just as a mom, I just naturally did this of, oh my gosh, my children are happy, they're healthy, they're this, they're that, because that's what we want for them, right? And we pray for them. Why wouldn't you want that for yourself as well? So imagine, and if you need to do this, because some people do, imagine you're praying over your own inner child, that this little girl or little boy who's 5 years old, or however old you were when you were your cutest self. For me, that was like 3. I was super cute then. So my little 3-year-old self, I say to myself, she is amazing. She is going to be so blessed. There's so many amazing things coming into her life. But you're speaking that into you because you are so worthy and deserving of everything and all good things happening to you. And yeah, life happens and you're going to complain. It does. It's okay to have those moments. What's not okay is to live in those moments. They should be moments, not lifetimes. So allow yourself the time to process your emotions. Allow yourself to feel what you feel. You can't suppress them. You have to get it out and then work through it. One of the things that I like to do, I tell people, you can scream into a pillow. Don't scream at anyone, but if you're alone in a room, scream into a pillow, whatever you need to say. Hit a pillow, get it out, get your anger and your frustration out, or whatever it is you're feeling, or your tears if you need to cry. A good cry is very cleansing for the soul. Allow yourself to process that and to feel that and work through it. Again, the operative word here is through it. So you get to the other side and you feel better and you can start to take care of yourself again so that you can feel more like yourself. So I hope that those messages resonated. I hope you found this helpful for you. Know that I'm sending you guys so much love and light. If you want to work with me, there's so many ways. I offer readings, hour coaching sessions. I offer healing sessions. I have my 2 books. I also have online courses. You can check all of that out on my website. That's the easiest way at melissaoatman.com. If you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review for others so that they can find it. And also, the greatest compliment you can pay me is to share this with other people. You can find this podcast now on New Reality TV, so go check it out. We have a new app. And on New Reality TV, you'll find my podcast as well as other spirituality podcasts. Plus, we have an app on Roku and Fire Stick. So go download those apps. Give us a good review. I just appreciate it so much. We're helping to spread this message of love and forgiveness and everything out there into the world. So thank you for helping us do that. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.